Ray Dalio is the founder of the largest hedge fund in the world, Bridgewater. I recently went to take a look at the moves the fund has been making in the market, and what I found is rather shocking. Bridgewater has been selling dozens of well-known stocks and seemingly getting out of the market. So, in today's video, I want to show you what Bridgewater is selling, why I think it's selling, and the few stocks that they have been buying. So with that being said, let's just dive right into the video. And this website right here shows us Bridgewater's portfolio, or in other words, Ray Dalio's portfolio. And if we take a look at what the activity has been, we can see that it has been selling a lot of different stocks. We can see MasterCard, Merck & Co., Visa. If we scroll down, we can see Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Pepsi, Johnson & Johnson, Costco right here, and many other names, even Walmart and Kroger and Starbucks. Basically, they're selling almost everything. They're trimming down their positions massively. And this is what I mean. It looks like Bridgewater and Ray Dalio are starting to get out of the market. Now, I want to explain my thoughts on why Ray Dalio is starting to trim down many of these stocks and get out of the market. And I think that McDonald's offers a really good example of this. So we're going to head over to Stock Unlock's freeform tool right here, and we're going to take a look at McDonald's price to free cash flow right now. And it's currently selling for a price to free cash flow of about 38.5. And if we zoom out 20 years, we can see that this is about the highest this price ratio has ever been. So basically, McDonald's looked like it is about as expensive as it's ever been right now in terms of its price to free cash flow. And this is super, super interesting to me because if we take a look at McDonald's revenue and its free cash flow over the past decade, let's zoom into about 2013 here. Let's take a look. So the revenue has grown, the free cash flow has grown at about 3.5%, and the revenue has actually declined by about 1.78% on an annual basis over the past decade. So basically, over the past decade, McDonald's hasn't really grown its free cash flow or its revenue. Its revenue has actually declined. However, if we take a look at the stock price over this time, and we scroll down, we can see that it has grown at a compounded annual growth rate of 11.16%. So the stock price has been growing rapidly and far outpacing the actual growth to McDonald's fundamentals, which is why we're seeing the price to free cash flow continuing to uptrend. And now it's sitting at a price to free cash flow of over 38. A 38 price to free cash flow for a business where the revenue isn't really growing and the free cash flow is not really growing is a very, very high price to pay, in my opinion. Now, if we also remove all these metrics and we go back to just simply the price to free cash flow, and we add in Coca-Cola, let's add in KO, and then we're also going to add in Procter & Gamble, which is another stock that Bridgewater and Ray Dalio seem to have been selling. So there we go. We now have these two stocks added to our freeform tool right here. And we can see that the price to free cash flow of Procter & Gamble is now selling for about 31, and Coca-Cola is selling for a price to free cash flow of about 28.7. So these consumer businesses, these consumer discretionary businesses, are selling for very high price to free cash flow multiples, while their businesses aren't really growing revenue and free cash flow that much. I understand that these are very strong American brands and they should hold up well during inflation, and we are seeing some very high inflation right now. But I think that the market has gotten into this consensus view that these are very good stocks to own during inflation a little bit too much. Like, they've bought up these stocks so massively that now they seem to be quite overvalued, in my opinion. And this could be why Ray Dalio is starting to sell and trim down these stocks in specific, but simply because they look like they are getting quite expensive. I mean, honestly, you guys, you have to think about this. McDonald's is selling for like double the price of Google now, which is just insane. If we actually head over to Stock Unlock's discounted cash flow calculator here, and we simply put in the growth rates to McDonald's over the past 10 years and all of its average ratios over the past 10 years and project that out going forward, it tells us that McDonald's fair value is about $149 a share, or about 49% below where the stock is currently trading. And this is giving it a price to free cash flow of still 28 10 years out into the future. So basically, again, if McDonald's past 10 years performance is replicated going forward, then this stock is about 50% overvalued right now, and it's just trading at a massive premium, in my opinion. So again, I think that a lot of these consumer discretionary brands have gotten bought up way too much, and now they're getting quite expensive. Now, what's interesting is if we head back over to Bridgewater's portfolio and what they've been doing, we can scroll down and see that they have in fact been buying a few positions. Not a lot, and it doesn't nearly offset the amount of selling that the company is doing, but we can see that they have started a brand new position here in JP Morgan. They bought in McKesson Corp, a few ETFs, T-Mobile, Berkshire Hathaway, and Bank of America. So outside of the ETFs, basically what they're buying is, it looks like, banks and Berkshire Hathaway, which I think is incredibly interesting. Because think about it. Everyone seems to have been super scared of banks recently with the overall banking crisis going on in the United States. And it seems like no one really wanted to own banks anymore. And it's actually funny because I posted on my Twitter account that I was buying some TD Bank during the banking crisis. And I got some comments basically saying that banks are uninvestable at this point. Like, you actually shouldn't own any banks at all. And whenever I see the consensus going this way, where the consensus just believes that a certain sector, industry, or even stock becomes uninvestable, I actually think that it creates quite a discount on that stock or that sector in specific. And I believe that's what we saw with banks. Now, there are some issues in the banking sector, and there are some banks that are being heavily mismanaged and even went under, like Silicon Valley Bank. But I don't think that this applies to every bank in the sector. I actually think that there are a lot of really good banks out there with a ton of capital, a lot of growth, and now selling at quite a discount. And I actually think that JP Morgan was one of them. I think that TD Bank was another, Equitable Bank was another. I specifically bought some more TD Bank when the banking crisis was going on. And I also bought some more Equitable Bank when it was selling for what I thought was a very attractive price. So it looks like Ray Dalio and Bridgewater are doing the exact same thing. They're selling off a lot of the stocks that they think are overvalued right now, at least that's what it looks like. And then they used that money to buy what everyone else was selling, which was banks and the banking sector. Also, Berkshire Hathaway. I'm going to dig into this one a little bit more because I do think that Berkshire Hathaway is actually a pretty valuable stock right now and does look like it is selling for an attractive valuation. However, if we go and take a look at JP Morgan, they reported earnings on Friday and the stock was up 7.55%. At one point during the day, it was up almost 9%. So if we take a look at the 1 week here, we can see that JP Morgan reported earnings, the stock rallied massively, and it seems like investors are now buying up JP Morgan stock once again. So I went and I took a look at JP Morgan's most recent earnings report, and I found this right here. I took a little bit of a screenshot, and we can see that JP Morgan reported revenue of $38.3 billion. This is up 25% year over year for the first quarter. So they grew revenue 25% year over year. That is just ridiculous. Their net income was also up 52%, and on an earnings per share fully diluted basis, it was up 56% because the bank is buying back shares, which means that the earnings per share is going to grow faster than the actual earnings as the share count gets reduced over time. But basically what's interesting to me is that the fundamentals of JP Morgan are still growing. They're growing what seems to be incredibly well. And this is what I mean. And this is what Ray Dalio was doing, is when everyone was so scared on the overall banking sector, basically calling banks uninvestable, there were select banks like JP Morgan still growing their fundamentals and compounding the intrinsic value of the business away and continuing to grow. This is very strong growth for the bank. Now, remember, they did $38 billion in revenue for the first quarter of 2023. And if we head back over to Stock Unlock and we take a look at JP Morgan's revenue throughout history, this is the most amount of revenue they have ever generated. Now, we don't have the numbers in Stock Unlock quite yet because it takes a few days for those numbers to get into our systems, and then we display it for all of our users. But previously, the highest revenue quarter that JP Morgan ever had was in the fourth quarter of 2022 at $34.55 billion. Now they just did $38.3 billion. That's a 10% growth quarter over quarter. And again, it's the most amount of revenue the bank has ever generated in its history. So the fundamentals of JP Morgan, in my opinion, are literally sitting at an all-time high when everyone seemed like they did not want to own banks or they thought that banks were uninvestable. This created what I thought was a discount and an opportunity in the banking sector in specific. And it looks like Ray Dalio agreed and they were buying up banks as well. And now they're probably sitting on quite a profit on this one position. So this is super interesting to me. It's also interesting because it sounds like, well, in JP Morgan's earnings report, they said that they believe inflation could be a little bit more sticky than we want, which would ultimately mean that interest rates could remain higher for longer. And banks make more money when interest rates are higher because they lend out money and they generate interest income off of all of the money that they're lending. So if interest rates are higher, then banks are going to be able to lend out money at a higher interest rate, and they're ultimately going to be able to generate more revenue and net income. So banks are beneficiaries of inflation and beneficiaries of higher interest rate environments, and we are seeing that play out in JP Morgan's fundamentals. Again, with them generating a record amount of revenue in the first quarter of 2023 by far. So I thought that all of this was incredibly interesting. I thought that it was super interesting to see Ray Dalio and Bridgewater selling off so many positions. In my opinion, it's pretty clear why they're doing that. Again, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, all these types of businesses, in my opinion, got bought up to just, they just got overextended. Their price ratios are ridiculously high relative to the amount of growth that they can offer investors. And ultimately, what this means is that the future returns that McDonald's can offer, just using McDonald's as an example, the future returns that McDonald's can offer investors is probably not going to be what they have done historically. Again, we saw that the share price increased by about 11.5% annually over the past decade. I don't think that McDonald's stock is going to provide investors with that same level of returns going forward, because again, remember, it was just price ratio expansion mostly leading those returns. So for McDonald's to generate 10%, 11% returns going forward for investors, the price ratio would have to expand to multiples in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and I just don't think that's going to happen. So the result is McDonald's stock not offering the same level of returns as it did over the past decade, unless the stock comes down and then we can buy it on a dip. But right now, the stock looks incredibly expensive. I think that's why Ray Dalio is trimming a lot of his positions, and I think that he was adding to the positions and starting new positions in stocks that looked like they were undervalued and offering an opportunity at the moment, which seemed to be JP Morgan, Bank of America, and the banking sector. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion on what Ray Dalio is doing. I thought it was super interesting. If you guys enjoyed this video or you found it helpful in some way, please remember to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. I make a lot of stock market related content like that is fundamentals focused, and I try to find opportunities in the market where I think there is opportunity and value. That happened to be the banking sector over the past couple of weeks. I found some pretty good banks that I thought were fundamentally sound when everyone else was scared. Looks like Ray Dalio was doing the same. And yeah, that's kind of the content that I like to make here. So again, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to check out this platform that I use here on my channel, this is Stock Unlock, and you can go and get a 14-day free trial, totally risk-free, no credit card required, at stockunlock.com. You can play around with the discounted cash flow calculator, the freeform tool, and a bunch of other features that we have to offer here. So seriously, go and check out Stock Unlock if you are a fundamentals focused investor, because it is the best platform for analyzing fundamentals and looking at stocks. But I'm ranting now. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope you're having a great weekend, and I hope to see you all again in my next video.